Football fans, tonight on NCTV 5, it's week number 11. We'll be bringing you the first round playoff game hosted here in Liberty Center. It'll be the visiting Fairview Apaches coming in at 8-2, taking on the home team, the Liberty Center Tigers at 9-1. Liberty Center got here with 6 straight wins, 2 very impressive victories over state-ranked Mineral Ridge. And, of course, the Delta Panthers in week number 9 on a tight one, 27-23, a game for the ages. Well, Jimmy, old boy, here we are. We've been here before. The Tigers with a super playoff record, one of the best in the state under Coach Lindgren. How do you see this ball game tonight? She's going to be a doozy.
Spike, this should be an excellent ball game. Weather-wise, it's absolutely perfect. I'm thinking Tiger Stadium has never shown well at this stage in the game, in the season. And boy, these Tigers are roaring into these playoffs with a real growl. They had their best offensive performance last week, averaging about 12.5 yards per attempt. And as you say, they built momentum running the table here the last 6 games. So they think they can get it done. They have played the Fairview Apaches before, and the noted sports journalist Tom Fry has got a lot of statistics to kind of bring us up to date here, but it should be a great football game here at Tiger Stadium tonight.
All right, we've got on the camera tonight the always boisterous, outlandish Landis Utopia Burmeister, and of course my old buddy Jimmy, and with the stats, Liberty Press sports writer extraordinaire Tom Fry. Tom, give us some stuff here on Fairview.
Thank you, Jim and Spike. Liberty Center has, so far this season, scored 354 points and given up 104. They have 401 rushes for 2,516 yards at a 6.3 yard clip. They've passed 89 times, completed 37 for 928 yards. Their leading rusher is Kurt Silvis, has 125 carries, 1,044 yards. That's an 8.4 yard average, 15 touchdowns. Eric Weimer's at second place, 595 yards and 81 carries, a 7.3 average, and 11 touchdowns. Quarterback Brian Babcock is 36-85 for 924 yards, 9 touchdowns. As far as Fairview goes, it's all going to revolve around their quarterback. Steve Olin. He has, Steve Olin has 336 attempts, 186 completions for 2,820 yards and 29 touchdowns. He's also rushed for 1,033 and 12 touchdowns, and he pretty well does the bulk of their running and most of the passing.
Okay. So what that tells us is Fairview averages just about 290 yards a game in the air on 18 average completions. And Steve Olin, number 10, the quarterback, averages just over 100 yards a game rushing. So coming out of the empty backfield, the Tigers defense is going to have some all new to deal with. All right. Little punch kick, and the ball battled for. I don't know if that ever crossed the 50-yard line before it was hit. I think a Tiger may have hit it, Jimmy, on the 49-yard line of Fairview.
Yeah, Tiger got up there real tight there, but evidently Fairview comes up with it. But Spike, I'm surprised for a playoff game how we got them both in black and white. Tigers are pretty much all black, but boy, oh boy, who's got it, where's it going, and what's happening?
Wow, right off the bat, the onside kick. I thought it was touched. Of course, the Liberty Center player did touch it before it went 10 yards. Right. They're really giving it to the official. I'm not sure how that plays out, but the ball.
Well, if a Tiger elected to touch it, then it's a free, alive ball, and Fairview had more people, and they came up with it.
All right, in shotgun, trip receivers to the far side, double here. Tigers show Weimer as the lone linebacker, now man in motion. Bodenbender goes with him. Rolling to the right. Looking, fires over the head of the intended receiver. Pressure there by Bodenbender.
Yeah, Casey Bodenbender over there on the coverage like a blanket, and Kurt Silvis applying pressure to the quarterback, and boy, almost a block in the back on him.
Yeah, they had him pushed to the inside, and as Kurt turned, the block was to the back, but of course by that time it could have been out of the officials' sight line. All right, same setup, trip receivers to the far side. Now man in motion toward the football. Olwen back, takes the low snap, fires out there, picked up there at the 50, got running room to the outside, and hauled down there at the 35-yard line. It'll be an Apache first down there.
Scott Swiskowski finally rode him out of bounds. Spike thinking of that opening kickoff. I think the Apaches took a cut off of Liberty's playbook last week. They respect our deep men, Paul Smith and Kurt Silvas, obviously. And last week against, a few weeks ago against Delta, we onside kicked 3 of the first 4 times.
All right, Tigers show. Now they're going to blitz the middle linebacker. Olwen runs right past the blitz and picks up about 5 on the play. Wow, the Tigers had the right idea on the blitz, but Olwen managed to elude that, picks up 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Yep, Tiger defense tested right out of the blocks there, Spike. Apache with first possession on a Tiger 49-yard line. It doesn't get much better than that for them.
Well, and you notice they ran that quick quarterback dive, if you will. All right, Tigers show a 3-man front. Now they adjust to the shift. Quick drop, fires over the middle. Great defensive play by Brett Babcock. Holy cow!
Hey, how about that for pass defense, folks? He was giving away at least 6-8 inches in height, but he was there where he needed to be, and he got that paw out there, concentrating on the ball, prevented an easy score for the Apaches there had he been successful with that pass.
Yep, and that may be one of the most difficult passes to defend, that hard slant about 15 yards downfield. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Fairview with the ball on the Tiger 30-yard line. Same trip receiver right set. Look to the left, now running, in trouble. Now gets out of 1 man and finally has enough, gets down inside the 25 for a first down. As we see Olwen very quick.
Yes, he is. As Tom Fry pointed out there early on, is just about the offensive load for the Apaches. And his receivers were covered there, so he tucked it up and got there to the marker where he needed to be.
Well, one thing for Olwen, I think it's important that he's going to be the focal point for Fairview. He's got to be durable, and he's got to know how to avoid big hits. That could be a key down the road for Liberty Center later on. All right, Tigers drop off. They show the 3-man front. Silva's coming from wide, pressure from Butler, evades 1 tackler and battles his way inside the 15. There's a fumble on the field, a battle for it. Tigers signal they have it. We're going to wait and see. No, they're going to rule the ball down by contact.
Wow. Spike, that ball popped out of there pretty fast, and Tigers all over it, but officials there to say, no, sir, down by contact or whatever you want to say.
Well, 2nd down and 2. Apaches need to get the ball to about the 11-yard line of Liberty Center. Only a minute and 40 seconds gone, and we've seen a lot of football already. All right, trip receivers to the wide side, the right. Quick, oh, yes, out of reach of the intended receiver there.
Yeah. Silvas, Weimer, and 66, Jeremiah Hill, all putting great pressure on the quarterback. Great pressure, and that's, Spike, it's going to take that to keep that passing attack down.
Yep.
He's got some fleet-footed receivers out there apparently, and as good a cover guys as we've got, you can't give him too much time, and man, they were putting the pressure on there.
Now Fairview comes out with trip receivers to the left side, our side of the field. Now looks for the little draw play. It's open. Olwen bangs his way down to about the 6. It'll be 1st and goal, Fairview.
Yeah, Kurt Silvas, but wow, if he sees a little bit of opening, this Olwen knows what to do about it, Spike. And
yep. Well, and that forces the defense to stay inside to some degree, which of course helps bring up more single coverages downfield.
Yep.
So 1st and goal, we'll call it the 6-yard line. I'm back at the 7-yard line now. 9:52 here in the first quarter, clock running. If you're tuning in just now on TV5, Fairview recovered the game's opening onside kick. Now rolling to the right, Fires to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Fairview.
Yep, Swiskowski out there on coverage and just about a step away from making a good defensive play there.
Yeah, the ball just got over his head, and the receiver planted down there in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, you know, Spike, looking at that play there, the quarterback could, I think, almost have run for the score. He had plenty of grass in front of him, but then he also saw a receiver out there.
Well, one thing about it, you know, it's hard to emulate anything like the Fairview attack in practice. Like snap high, kick good by Fairview. So at the 9:39 mark of the first period, they take a 7-0 lead. So the Tigers may need one possession just to see what they've got to deal with here.
Yeah.
Fairview takes advantage of that onside kick, and they take the lead.
Yep, they had excellent field position and made something out of it, flooded the area with multiple receivers a couple times, and then, of course, they got a good look at this quarterback that can pick them up and put them down, Spike.
All right, now let's get some of our sponsors here. We've got Hill Asphalt Paving with Randy Hill, Dave's Auto Service with Dave Perry, Pizzanello's Pizza with Craig and Sherry Myers. They sponsor that twice-a-day buffet, and, of course, during buffet hours, you can get that slice of pizza to go for $1. Also, hot wings and a lot of other good stuff there. Okay, we got the Henry County Bank with Bill Wendt, the Dugout with Steve and Catherine Parasini, Trucker's Paradise with Lynn and Jerry Ripke, and, of course, Jerry with their 57 kinds of wonderful homemade pies. KK Collision with Kyle Kern. Schaefer Truck and RV Sales and Rentals with Terry and Todd Schaefer out on Road 10 between Delta and Liberty.
Yep.
Miller Brothers Trucking with Skip Miller, and Eon Industries with Judy Leininger and Dawn Bender. All right, now the driving low liner, that comes down, picked up there at the 18-yard line by Silvis. Silvis has a seam, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet up across the 45 to the 48-yard line.
All right.
Oh, Jimmy, he was only inches away.
I know it, Spike. Almost a muff on that kickoff reception there, but boy, he found a handle in a hurry, and he sets the Tigers up just about exactly in the same shape that the Fairview started out. Statman Tom Fry points out that Fairview score was a 9-play, 48-yard drive.
Wow, 9-play, 48-yard drive.
Yep.
All right, Tigers now 52 yards away. Give to Weimer. Weimer battles up across the 50 and down to the Fairview 49. A gain of 4, depending on the spot. Now we'll call it a long 3. It'll bring up second down and 7 for Liberty Center. Tigers testing that left side of the offensive line behind Van Sickle, Espinoza, and Wiley, the tight end over there. Casey Bodenbender, tight end on the right, along with Foote. Here is the give to Silvis. Silvis pounds ahead, gets it down to the 46. We'll call it a gain of maybe 4, and it'll bring up third down, and we'll call it 4 yards to go.
Yeah, nice lead block there by Brett Babcock, number 2, rolling around there, and also Jeremiah Hill kind of leading interference through the secondary there.
Yeah, a huge nose guard for Fairview. They're very big on that defensive front. Third down and 4. Here's a give, the little delay to Weimer. Weimer tries to knife ahead, gets inside the 45 to the 44. Oh my, we're up against a situation already. 4th down and 1, the ball at Fairview's 44-yard line.
Yeah, and it looks like punt team is going to try and pin Fairview back, Spike.
Well, and of course, Coach Olwin from Fairview made the comment about seeing 1,000 different fake punts, so of course they're going to be ready for this. They don't have anybody back deep. Boy, you'd think the Tigers, no, they're going to punt it away. High wobbling kick. It's going to hit at about the 20-yard line. Take a sideways bounce, and the ball will be pinned deep there, back at the 19-yard line.
Okay, Spike, as Fairview gets ready to set up there for their second possession, I'd like to point out to you that the quarterback, Olin, was 2 of 5 for 21 yards on that scoring drive, and he had 4 rushes for 28 yards.
Well, that just simply proves out the capabilities of the quarterback.
Yeah, he's got statistics in the papers and whatnot, and we're seeing here firsthand tonight that he is quite a show.
Now Jeremiah Hill, a tackle on defense, moves out a little wide. Weimer and Butler, Weimer on a blitz, and they nail the quarterback. There's a smackerino in the backfield.
Yeah, Eric Weimer's in there, also 71, I believe. 71 out there.
Well, you saw Weimer was going.
Yep.
He had Butler from nose guard going to his left. Weimer went off the right side, and the the defensive tackle on Liberty side all teamed up.
Yep.
To nail Olin for about a 3-yard loss.
Well, Tigers have been very good at adjusting the whole season long, and of course that first drive kind of set them on their heels, but they're ready to go this time on defense.
All right, spread offense versus spread defense. Olin stands back at the 10. Looks for running room, now fires a Hail Mary up there, and it's picked off by Paul Smith on a deflection, but a stinking rotten, no good yellow flag lying at the 45.
Yeah, I think they got Swiskowski with a little work with his hands back here, but I tell you, they were going to have some collision out there, and that was not an attempt at interference, but I think he did kind of bump him. But in the preceding jostle there, we came up with the football, but it won't stand, Spike.
Well, I assume it's going to be 15-yard penalty, and that'll give Fairview a first down up across the 30-yard line.
You know, quarterback did not like how he had to throw that pass, and I thought they're finally getting some heat on him. He was not set. He did not get to step into that pass, and if he's going to throw some wobblers up there, Tigers will feast on those.
Oh, absolutely.
As the game unfolds here.
Yeah. Tigers trail here 7-0. Fairview on the first possession recovered an onside kick. Moved at 49 yards, and the Tigers were forced to punt. The Liberty crowd very adamant in their displeasure. I believe we may have the same crew or close to the same crew as Liberty had with Delta. So Fairview, 1st and 10 at their 32-yard line. 5-step drop, they're going to set up a screen. That's picked up by Van Sickle. Van Sickle returns it to the 25-yard line, and the Tigers are back in business. Don't send that crap this way, buddy. Van Sickle saw to that.
Yes, sir. You know, very early on, Spike, it's kind of apparent that quarterback sees it when there's a crowd coming, and he had more time than he took to throw that pass, but they affected him.
Well, and you saw how Van Sickle, for example, adjusted to the play, a tackle he's normally going to put a rush on. That time dropped back kind of like a middle linebacker.
Exactly.
All right, now the Tigers back in business. 1st and 10 at the Apache 25. We've got Silva set to the right. Babcock the wing over on the right side. And Weimer behind the quarterback. Here's the pitch to Weimer. Cuts it up. He's got a big hole. Stays on his feet. Leaps over one. Another great block. He's into the end zone. He's into the end zone. Oh, boy, a great downfield block. There was the final spring. But Weimer with a beautiful piece of running off that right side. Linked one tackler, cut to the outside, and barreled his way into the end zone. It's 7-6 at the 6:27 mark of the first period.
Yeah, no question. Jeremiah Hill, number 66, was a block early on and made that happen. Weimer needed a block at that point, and he got her.
Who got the downfield block?
Jeremiah
Hill.
Hill.
Was Jeremiah, okay. All right, Snapper Hill. Good snap, good hold by Babcock, driving kick by kicker good! Cody Sanchez ties it up, and the Tigers answer the bell. 6.5 to go first period, we're knotted up at 7. All right, for the rest of our sponsors, as I catch my breath, we've got Mitchell Farm Equipment. They feature the Simplicity Lawn and Garden Tractor line, and something you may want to think about as the winter weather approaches for a snowplow. B.A. Miller and Sons Trucking with Norma Miller. L.R. Babcock Plumbing and Heating with Bill Tiplady, Dan and Francis Brown. Holgate Metal Fab with good Tiger Jeff Spangler. The Sky Bank in Liberty Center. Davis Farm Services of Delton Liberty with Karen Howell. The Tiger Shop with Bob and Julie Shaddy. Speece Trailer Court with Rick Speece. Swanton Welding with Norm Zeider. The Meyer Badenhop Insurance Company with Glenn Badenhop in the Napoleon office. Bob and Marge Jurassics in Liberty Center. Also the Liberty Center Athletic Boosters. Don't forget your booster membership, sports fans. Ken and Robin Carpenter. The Liberty Center Carryout with John McClure on the north end of town. John features Pettysville meats and potato salad. Also, don't want to forget the Porch Coaches, a fine, upstanding organization of the area. Also, John Slagle and the memory of Donnie Sharp and his stinking, rotten, no-good yellow flags. Also, Timbo and Water Hauling Service. Woo!
Yeah, Spike, a 9-yard return on Wade Van Sickle's interception. Also, that's number 14 in interceptions for that quarterback.
All right, little onside kick. That's going to bounce around, but I think Fairview recovers at midfield.
Well, that's kind of back at him, Spike.
Yeah, of course, they're cognizant of the fact that Olwen averaging 51 yards on 5 kickoff returns this year.
Yeah. Well, I think the Tigers have showed on defense that they are capable of pressuring the quarterback, and for what I see, Spike, he's not liking it.
Yep, and
I don't know if you caught my statement there. He's had 29 passing touchdowns, and that was his 14th pick this year.
Wow.
So Tigers would like to help even that up a little bit here tonight.
All right. Trip receivers left, man in motion to the far side of the field. Weimer on a blitz, has time under pressure, and Sagarino!
Yep.
Weimer started the blitz, and there was pressure from the other side. Olwen made a move to this way, and the Tigers honed him and skinned him alive, throwing him for a 4-yard loss.
That was Weimer and Van Sickle, and they bear hugged him. One guy had him, and the other guy wanted to get him down, so he just loved him up in a big way there, Spike.
Boy, I tell you, if we've ever going to see a dismemberment on the field, that was close to it right there. A lot of fans in attendance tonight, full crowd, people ringing around the area, about 7 or 8 deep.
Yep, it's a Green Meadows against the NWAL.
Tigers show a 2-man front, pass caught out there and hauled down immediately after a short gain. Hit made by Paul Smith, a gain of about 8 yards, but it'll bring up 3rd down, and we'll call it 5 yards, a long 5 yards to go for Fairview. That time, Liberty only had 2 up linemen, and the Tigers had 9 men spread out in that next 7 or 8 yard area.
Yeah, well, knowing full well that the Apaches prefer a spread offense, Spike.
Silva shows blitz, backs off. Here comes Weimer. Throws it downfield, and a great job by Brian Babcock all over the football. No way the intended receiver had a shot at that one.
Yeah, good defense down there, Spike, but looks like, the contact was kind of flying there a little bit, and some you get and some you don't. 4th and 5, so Tigers figure Fairview's liable to put them back on offense.
Well, the clock stopped. Still 5.5 to go, first period. Now Fairview, they've got to consider the field position game. And Olwen appears that they're going to go for it on 4th and a long 5. Drop, now rolls, pressure there, looking for time. Throws it upfield, and incomplete! Paul Smith!
Yes,
what
sir.
A play!
Oh,
what a play by Paul Smith!
Yeah, the Fairview receiver thought that, hey, wait a minute here, but they both got it right to the ball, and Paul was flying after the ball. So.
Oh, yeah, Paul came over the top, twisted the body sideways, snaked the left arm in, and stripped it away. Incomplete. Tigers take over.
Well, give Fairview credit. They were just across mid-stripe there on the Tiger 45, and they thought, you know what, we ought to be able to get this 5 yards, and Tiger defense was up to it.
All right, Tigers come to the line of scrimmage. Standard wing right set. Weimer behind the quarterback, takes the handoff right up the middle, drives ahead up to about the 48-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 3. 3 yards it is. Now, not a huge gain on first down, but it definitely puts you in the plus situation
Yep, and that
for the next 2 plays.
And that does. That helps draw the defense in a little bit, having to respect that great Tiger power game.
Wow, did we get a left-footed spot on that baby.
Yep.
Oh, boy. All right, now we've got Paul Smith spread wide to the far side of the field. Double wing set, Weimer lone setback. Here's the give to Silvas. A great block by Paul Smith. Silvas to the outside at the 40. All the way down across the 30 and inside down to the 28-yard line. A great seal block by
Paul Smith.
And the Tigers doing a great job on the defensive end out there.
Well, I think the defensive end did not have a good line of pursuit there, figuring on pressuring the quarterback, and Silva's too fast for him, got a quick couple steps outside, Spike. But remember last week's game, Kurt Silvas had nearly 300 yards rushing the football right here at Tiger Stadium a week and a day ago.
20-yard gain for Silvas getting to the outside. And now we've got a timeout down on the field. Liberty 7, Fairview 7, Tigers ball. Okay, now back to action. The official taking a shot, we think, around the knees. So, of course, there'll be some adjustments now by the officiating crew. Boy, and Jim, in a game like this, a robust passing game, as Fairview has, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the officials on those downfield calls.
Yeah, I didn't know whether come playoff time whether they had a spare official travel here or not, because as you say, there's a lot to cover, and of course the fans' passion won't tolerate much mistakes.
All right, now in motion, Silvas takes it, gets around the outside, beats one man, nice spin move inside the 25 to the 23, gain of about, we'll call it 5 from up here until we get a spot. Great crackback down inside. And that helps bring Silvas for that, we'll call it a 4-yard gain on first down. Tigers with the football at the 23-yard line. They need to get to the 17 of Fairview for a first down. Paul Smith spread wide to the short side, this side of the field. Double wing set, Silvas on the left, Babcock on the right, tight end is Bodenbender on the left side. Bodenbender in motion, takes the deep pitch. He's got block. I think we're going to have a bad block on Liberty. Babcock leaps over a tackler down near the 10. Oh, my.
Yeah, that's a flag back there where it's going to cost the Tigers, and I didn't see it, Spike. I was looking right in that area, but must have been a block where they didn't like it.
Well, apparently they didn't like the way it looked. I kind of thought it was pretty good myself, but it must have been a...
Yeah.
Or did we get a hold?
Well, the signal is a hold.
Okay,
so
well, I didn't see a hold. I won't argue that.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see the clip.
Evidently, right there on the line of scrimmage, the lineman got a paw up and impeded the Apache in an unforthright manner, Spike.
Okay. It must have been around the line of scrimmage because the ball actually moved back to the 31. So, in essence, an 8-yard penalty. So the Tigers with a second down. We'll call it 15 to go. They show Paul Smith spread wide to the far side. Double wing set. Babcock, first pass attempt, launches deep. He's got a man open. And caught, touchdown, Paul Smith holds it in. 31-yard high-arching aerial bomb.
Yep, to Paul Smith, Spike, and he put that up there just like he knew how Paul was going to run the pattern. Last week, Brian Babcock had his best day as a Tiger passer this season. Boy, is he building on it tonight. That was right like it ought to be.
Boy, and you talk about a ball player getting shot out of that proverbial cannon. Paul Smith simply turned it on and burned him.
Yeah, he'd be a hard man to cover, Paul Smith.
All right, Tigers go up now, 13-7. The holder, Babcock. Snap good, hold good, set good, kick is up, and good! Cody Sanchez, El Kicker, drives it through. Tigers go up 14-7. Well, Jimmy, a couple of the highlights of the scoring drives have been the battle for field position. And that gave Fairview a great opening chance for a score, and they took care of that. Then they elected to go on fourth down, didn't convert, gave the Tigers field position near the 50, and the Tigers take advantage.
Spike, both times the Tigers have got their mitts on it. They've worked it for a score. We got to love that. Tom Fry points out that Paul Smith had 3 touchdown receptions this season for an average of 36 1/3 yard each time. So factor that one in there.
Oh, boy, and then that circus catch he made down there last week in this left near corner.
All right.
Paul really coming up big here for Liberty Center, special teams and as a wideout, and a big hitter on defense. So now the Tigers will spot it up at the near hash at the 40-yard line. Sanchez, the kicker for Liberty Center. We've got Paul Smith out here on this side, Weimer next inside. .334 left, still first period. Sanchez attacks the ball, now a little squibbler rolling, that's loose. Tigers say they've got it! Yes, they do! Yes, they do! Paul Smith, the man that scores the touchdown, comes back with another big play. Tigers with the football at the Fairview 46.
Yep, Cody Sanchez had a big part to play in that reception too. But how about that, Spike? Tigers now with an opportunity to really get something going.
Yeah, and you know, Fairview that time, they could have just let the ball go through. There was a lot of impetus on that kick. Yep. That would have been the safe way to play it, but the Tigers there. Paul Smith on the ricochet recovery.
Yep.
All right, Tigers now with Smith spread wide to the far side. Silvas in motion. Straight out, a little delay to Babcock. Babcock battles his way down near the 40-yard line. We'll give him 5.
Boy, I tell you, that play took precision. Silvas and Smith in the mix there a little bit, and then to Babcock coming up in there. And I'm telling you, he had to kind of tightrope it and work his way to the left, Spike.
Oh, great call, because the Tigers just ran on the series before a Silvas 20-yard end sweep, and that time showed it, took it away, gave it to Babcock for 5.
Yep, Tiger offensive coaching is giving Fairview a lot to think about here.
All right, Smith wide to this side now. Tigers in the same double wing set. Weimer the lone setback. Babcock under center, quick 2-step drop. Loss over the middle, caught by Babcock. What a pair of hands by Brett. Caught at the 28-yard line and battles and stumbles his way, stays on his feet for another 6 yards. Down to the Fairview 21.
That's been a good combination this season. Babcock to Babcock, and what a sweet throw, what a touch throw, and what a good case of hands out there on the receiver. His cousin catching that ball right in traffic, making something big happen.
All right, more on that one in a minute. Now the Tigers come back with Silvas on the right, Weimer behind the quarterback Babcock. Here's Silvas, cuts it up inside, rambles, twists, stays on his feet, and drives down inside the 15. We'll call it the 15, and a gain of nearly 7 yards.
Yep, following Jeremiah Hill and Wade Van Sickle on that left side, and I'm telling you, those guys had to be firing out because Kurt Silvas was right on their tail.
Oh, yeah, and that was a huge hole and a good surge, like you mentioned, on that offensive line. Silvas never hit, and that's one of the most important aspects of the running game, is being able to get in the 3 or 4 yards deep into the secondary. Yep. All right, now they give to Silvas, goes outside, a great block out there. And into the end zone, it's a Tiger touchdown! It's a Tiger touchdown! 17, no, 15 yards away. Silvas just simply outran them all. There was no catching Kurt. The Tigers go up 20-7.
Yeah, a couple of Apaches in the secondary had an angle on him, but misjudged Kurt's speed and nose for the end zone. Jordan Espinoza made a great block over there to kind of seal that in.
Oh, you're right.
To get him started.
Yep, good spot on that, Jim. Definitely we'll give the play of the game, or the play of the play to Espinoza. Snap good, kick up, and sails off to the right. So the score stands still in the first quarter. Liberty Center 20, Fairview 7, and the drives are originating around midfield.
Yeah. Well, that was 4 plays. It was a 46-yard drive. 2 of 5. Brett Babcock was for 5 yards, and Silvas was 2 of 22 in yardage there. And then a pass was 1 for 1 and 19 yards, Spike, but a well-conceived drive, Tigers getting her done.
Well, and you know, you've got to come into a game like this, you've got to stop Silvis, and then, of course, to the outside, and then you've got to stop Weimer to the inside, and all of a sudden, here comes Brett Babcock, the weapon that probably helps offset everybody perfectly, because they can find other ways of getting him the ball on the reverses, the quick quick pitches, the little dump passes.
Plus, when your special teams gives you that good a field position on a turnover, you got to make something happen. And I'll tell you, this offense has delivered the last several weeks when called upon.
All right, Fairview is showing 9 people up near the 50-yard line. Olwen, number 10, and number 3 back deep. Here's a little puncher that's going to hit it around the 30, take a nice little roll, and go out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, that was Weimer.
Oh, Weimer on that little punch.
Yeah, he was positioned off to the side and to kind of shake him up a little bit. Weimer came up and put a foot into that.
Well, I believe the play will start from the 35. I think that's the normal call. Good to see number 79, Pete Martinez, out there and active.
Yeah, active is right. He's frolicking around like he can't wait to hit somebody. Well, you know, the Tigers, especially the upperclassmen, they've been building and building on this team, and, man, they just can't get enough of Tiger Stadium here, Spike.
All right, there's still 1:49 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Now a motion this way, 4 receivers out here. Olwen running to this side. Fires upfield, and that's going to be just out of reach, and they're going to rule incomplete. Great effort there by Paul Smith. But the official had a good angle.
He did, and so it was. But good fighting on the block there. Wade Van Sickle was engaged, trying to keep containment. That quarterback is, if he sees a little green area, he will tuck it under and rush, and Wade positioned perfectly to prevent that while engaged in a block.
Yep. Jim, and it might be only my bad sense of scheming here, but it looks like the quarterback looking to throw a little more often. Now the Tigers bunch the inside. Olwen appears to call an audible. Quick drop, fires out there, caught at the 45, and that should be enough for a first down. Coach Barrett letting the Tigers know they did a good job on getting an extra hit in there. First down, Fairview, but not without a battle.
Yep, and the Tiger just about had a paw on that, so they're contesting these passes. And thing I like about the Tigers' pass defense is we've seen them mature the latter part of the season. They're not afraid to play man-o-man on that. I mean, they're not giving big cushions. They're going to contest for each pass, Spike, and you got to love that.
All right, now trip receivers to the far side. 2 men in the slot. Now man in motion. That puts 4 over there. Tigers drop a few people off. Weimer, I thought it was being held. Olwen fires over the middle, caught. First down yardage, hit by McClure, and spins, and he'll go down there, but another Fairview first down.
Yeah, Chris Butler making the final stop on him there, but boy, the receiver had to work for an open area to be able to catch a pass. But to the quarterback's credit, he stayed with it until he got a man open, Spike.
Now, I couldn't tell for sure, but Weimer looked like he had a seam to the quarterback, but all of a sudden got in the pile, and all of a sudden his progress was held up, and yet no man was on him head to head, so it could have been a little chicanery there from the Fairview offensive line. All right, at the 50-yard line, Olwen looks upfield, throws long, it's caught out there. Swiskowski tries to run him down into the end zone, and a Fairview touchdown.
Well, the question is whether he got in, but the official thought he did, and so mark it up for the Apaches. Swiskowski just a little bit beaten on that pattern, and quarterback was able to throw a strike, Spike.
Well, now 20-13. That's the 5th touchdown here in the first quarter. 43 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the offenses showed up, and they're ready to light up the scoreboard.
Kick is up and good, so now it's a 6-point ball game, 20-14. All right, now the Apaches on their other.
On this drive, Spike, they were 3 of 4. It was all passing for 64 yards.
Yeah, we seem to have slowed Olin down in the running game, but they've been patient and found some open receivers. Now the Tigers set up in a standard kickoff return. Although now the 8th and 9th men creeping up around the 40-yard line. Here's the set. And another squib kick. Oh, my, I don't know.
You
Boy,
know,
there will not kick
Spike,
deep.
Should there not be a flag if Fairview touches it before it goes 10 yards?
That's right. That's
Well,
right. It's our football.
I'm wondering where the flag was because we had a clear view of it, and the Fairview got a touch on that before it went 10 yards. Is that what we saw?
Anybody on the recovery?
Unless they've changed the rule on that.
All right. I don't think they changed it, Jim. They probably just missed it. As you know now, the officials with a four-man crew running a man short with the injury. So the Tigers come to the line of scrimmage. They've got the ball at their own 49-yard line, wing left set. Here's the give to Silvas around the outside. Silvas has room. He's off to the races. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's another Tiger touchdown. Another Tiger touchdown. 51 yards of explosion.
Yeah.
The Tigers sealed it off, and it was all over in the first 10 yards.
You know, Spike, the way this scoring's going, pretty soon these special teams are going to start making deep kickoffs. I mean, setting up the Tigers around the 50-yard line has cost them every time.
Yeah, it's incredible, Jim. 26-14, 32 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Yeah. What a lot of fireworks.
All right, Tigers going to line up for two. They're setting the wing tee to the left. Here's the fake to Silvas. Babcock rolling, fires deep for Bodenbender, just over his head, incomplete. Tigers lead at 26-14, 32 seconds remaining, and believe it or not, football fans still in the first quarter. Okay, fireworks galore, first period. Sanchez loops it over the top. It's going to hit at the 30 and bounce around and falling on there back down around the 25-yard line.
Well,
very effective kickoff.
Yeah, so far, Spike, that's been the deepest kickoff we've seen. And we know Cody Sanchez, our kicker, can put her in the end zone. So, you know, a lot of strategy on these kickoffs. But
oh, absolutely. You know, and that's about as good a kickoff as you're going to have unless you do take it into the end zone.
Yeah.
No return on the play, so can't get much better than that.
Yeah, and there are some return men scattered around that just plain make a habit of bringing it out 30, 40 yards, so this is probably the way to do it.
All right. Tigers show a three-man front. McClure and Silvas, the defensive ends, crouching in close. Olwen, a two-step drop. Has to dig out and knocked down. I believe it might have been
Jeremiah Hill and Kurt Silvas were back here. One of them got a paw on him there.
I think Silvas might have got the paw out there. It's a Sacarino, a loss of 5 on the play.
Yeah, you know, he was ducking one, and then here come the other, and so, you know, they kind of share in that, but pressure is the name of the game against a passing team, Spike.
Yeah, that old Liberty chair, hit. You got to pour it on the quarterback.
Well, Spike, how about this? Kurt Silvas, 6 rushes for 100 yards already tonight. And
wow.
that was 1 quarter's worth.
Wow. All right, end of the first period. Liberty Center 26, Fairview 14 in a good old-fashioned Western shootout. Going to use as many as 20 different defensive players tonight. Olwen with a little time fires upfield, and that's going to be low, incomplete. Uh-oh, a late flag out here.
Yeah, I think he's going to chew out number 70 there. He didn't quite like what he saw over here as pass blocking.
Now the Tigers, that'll make it 3rd and 15.
And that'll walk them backwards there, too. That'll get them closer to their goal line on offense, and they've started from here.
Well, I don't know, Jimmy. There's 2 ways of looking at that, baby. I don't know if I want to give this passing attack too many opportunities.
Pat on the head there is supposed to be an illegal receiver. So that big guy should have been staying a little closer to the line of scrimmage, Spike.
That's why the flag came out a little late.
Yeah, and then the pat on the head. Tom Fry, noted sports columnist in the area, pointed that out.
Now this could be a loss of down, too.
Nice handy reference.
Nope, still remains second down. Fairview has to get all the way up to the 36-yard line. The ball spotted at the 12.
Now Tigers haven't scored by a safety route here for a while, Spike.
Well, we'll see what happens. Weimer showing blitz now, drops off. Owen drops, now rolls a little bit to his left. He's going to throw the home run ball. And almost caught on a miraculous attempt.
Man.
Oh, I tell you, you're not going to get any tighter a defense than Brian Babcock.
I know it. They were loving each other. They were shoulder to shoulder right there. All of a sudden, this ball comes in, and it come right to the Fairview receiver.
Boy.
But he couldn't do anything with it.
Well, now it brings up third down and 25. So the Tigers did elect to accept that penalty.
See, that quarterback can throw a pretty lengthy pass, Spike. He had that ball out there.
Yeah, but they weren't able to get any distance there between the receiver and the defender, so that may be chancy at best. Well, trip receivers to the far side. Quick drop, rolling out, pressure there from Slee. Now Meta ripped up. Sacarino! Sacarino! I believe it may have been Van Sickle.
Yeah, Van Sickle, and also I believe number 18 getting up right there.
Yep.
Held his ground over there. Number 18 being Ryan McClure. And I tell you, that's the way to play them. They're coming around there, and you just pick yourself out a spot on his numbers, and that's where you're going to go for. Got him.
Double nickel, Wade Van Sickle. And Ryan McClure in on the hit. 11:08 second period.
Well, they got a big guy back there.
Fairview forced to punt now from just inside their end zone. Back deep, Smith and Silvas. Low line drive punt, or kick, punt, duh. And that'll go out of bounds at about, they're going to mark at the 25-yard line.
All right. Woo! Spike, that's
16-yard punt.
Yep, that was good Tiger defense all the way. Now, there was a illegal receiver downfield penalty that kind of pushed them back, but the Tigers had an answer for every play that Fairview came up with on that series. Great defensive stand.
Yeah, and like we mentioned it earlier, Olin has disregarded the run here of late. Now the Tigers with an excellent opportunity to add to their 12-point lead. Here is the give to Silvas, getting outside, cuts up inside, a good block by Espinoza, and finds running room inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Gain of 5, second down. 10:44 clock running here, second period. All right, we want to mention we're very happy to see back in the ball game, back playing football for Liberty Center, Pete Martinez at right tackle, number 79. All right, pitch back to Silvas. There's a flag immediately on the play, and a gain down to the 13 will probably be negated. I'm going to think it would appear to be some kind of an illegal. Yep, definitely a hold call there.
Yeah, bad use of the hands at the line of scrimmage there, Spike.
Yeah, that flag came out almost immediately.
I was going to remark that the Tiger center, Scott Stewart, had his hands full there with a big guy across from him, and I particularly watched him on that play and looked like he had the best of him, but I don't know.
Well, the Tigers have showed a little bit of inside stuff, but they've been trying to push it to the outside. Now a little inside reverse. Babcock looks for a hole, can't get it there. And that time simply ran into the interference.
Yeah, number 15, Casey Bodenbender, kind of leading the way through that hole, and probably been a little more profitable if the ball carrier would have stepped just a little inside of that.
Well, easier said than done, though. I believe there was some bodies lying around back on the inside. So now 3rd down and 11. The Tigers need to get the ball just inside the Fairview 15. Smith spread wide that way. Now the fake to Silvas. Rolling out under pressure, and he's sacked back at the 35.
Yeah, that might be Fairview's best defensive play. They had a blitz called from the right end over here, and I'm telling you, he didn't check to the right or the left. He just drew a straight line to the quarterback, and all
right,
Babcock had no chance on that spot.
Yeah, 4th and we'll call it 20 yards. Ball resting at the 45-yard line of Fairview. And this might be a good place for Liberty to show running out of the shotgun, and then maybe just a little quick kick. But no, they're going to line up and go for it. Babcock under center. The lone set back Weimer. Silvas in motion right. Babcock rolling out, has time, throws deep. He's got Bodenbender just out of his reach. Bodenbender, a valiant dive for the football.
Yeah.
Couldn't haul it in.
Spike.
And the ball turned over to the Apaches.
Spike, we need a little more grass cut down there about on the 5-yard line, because that where that yard marker comes across is a little tall right there, because he got his toe hung up and he needed one more step.
Yeah, he had to battle hard to get past the defender. And I believe had he been able to keep his balance, it would have been a catchable ball.
I think that's exactly correct. So a nicely thrown pass, and, man, the receiver was there all but 6 inches.
Yeah, but once he started going down, it was was too much for him to try to hang on. Now Fairview with the football and relatively good field position at their own 35. Olwen now rolls hard, not much there, and the Tigers wrap him up for maybe a yard gain on the play. McClure, I think, in on the hit.
Yeah, Tyler Carpenter wanted a piece.
Carpenter.
Well, he wanted a piece of him in the worst way, but the quarterback was kind of spun the other way, so he sort of missed him. But, I mean, that would have been a bone-jarring meeting out there.
Well, the Tigers, now that's a good job on defense. You're containing Olwen's rushing, and that cuts down their capabilities. 2nd down and 9. 8 minutes to go here, 2nd quarter. Olwen fires over the middle, caught. Well, a little extracurricular. Derek Miller, number 63, in there on defense for Liberty. Got hung up by 2 of the huge gargantuans.
Yeah.
And now the official warning, number 70, for his part in that little double team. But Fairview with a 1st down at their own 47-yard line.
Yep, good field position and a fresh set of downs there for the Apaches.
Trip receivers are going to go to the sideline, caught out there at the 46, and immediately out of bounds. That ball spotted at the 44. Good for about 8 yards. Pretty healthy spot.
Yeah, it was. Babcock and Silvas on the coverage over here at the sideline.
Boy, the chain gang may have to come up with a big play for the Tigers tonight somewhere along the line.
And we got the state playoff caliber chain gang on duty over there tonight, Spike.
These guys have had some meetings, and led by the 38-year veteran Mike Mann, some fire, pomp, and incense there by Chris Zacharias. I think they've got their game shape. No, low snap, and a quick fire out there into the flats. Caught, 1st down. Now trying to return the other way, gets past another guy, and all the way down to the 35-yard line.
Spike, I'm sure the camera caught it, so everybody's going to see it, but I'm telling you, Chris Butler really got a piece of number 10 on that rush. I mean, he just nailed him. Official right there. It was in plenty of time, but wow, that's got to take its toll.
Oh, yeah, keep pounding, keep pounding. Chris Butler, the man to deliver the blow. Still 7:15 to go, clock running. Fairview in Liberty Center territory. Liberty Center 26, Fairview 14, 6 first quarter touchdowns.
Well, how much time do they get between a play, Spike?
Olwen in shotgun, rolling right. Here comes Silvas, and slows him down. Hit him, brought down at the 31-yard line. Gain of a couple. Swiskowski comes up to help contain the run.
Yep, Van Sickle over there not far away. Van Sickle doing the dutiful thing and handing the ball to the official so he wouldn't have to bend over to get it.
I'm sure emotions running exceptionally high out there. An electrifying plan of attack by Fairview, and Liberty Center, of course, answers with their pride and Tiger special integrity, if you will.
Spike, I hope somebody's keeping clock out there. I mean, this Fairview bunch seems to be able to stand around for a long time and still get the playoff.
Oh, I know it. I don't know what happened here. This thing should have been waved dead about 10 seconds ago. Good point. Fumbled, and that's going to be a loss on the play all the way back to the 37, loss of 5. Olwen simply fumbled the snap, running out of shotgun the entire evening.
Yep, he's got third and darn near 14 yards to move the sticks.
And now we're going to have a timeout by Fairview. 5:51 to go, second period. Tigers 26, Fairview 14. All right, rolling out a dribble. Sagarino! Kurt Silva's led the charge. He poured it on it back at the 45-yard line. And a loss of about 8 on the play.
Boy, Spike, from an Apache standpoint, that really hurts. You call a timeout to come up with something. You give everybody a little rest, and then you wind up to the line of scrimmage, and then you go ahead and lose about 8 yards. That hurts.
Wow, 2 big defensive plays in a row by the Tigers. Fairview faced with a fourth, and we'll call it nearly 30 yards to go. From the 45, they need to get down to the 23. So 4th and 22, back in punt formation. Silvas and Smith deep. Low line drive punt taken by Smith at the 16. Smith may have a wall. He's got a block there by Silvas. One man to beat to the outside. A little stutter step. Makes a great move and battles his way up to the 34. A beautiful return by Paul Smith of 18 yards.
Spike, he got all he could there. He waited for a nice block by Kurt Silvas there, and then he waited and made another little cut. He did all he could on that return.
Yep, 18 yards. I'll take 18 yards on a punt return all the time.
Yeah, you know,
except for a few Silvas 90-yard dashes.
Well, yeah, and even Paul Smith's return pretty good already. Tigers have been always famous for their defensive end play. This year being no exception. Couple of great athletes went down a little earlier in the season, Derek Proudfoot and Jan Stewart, but the boys playing tonight are picking it right up where the other guys had her.
All right, that pass batted down incomplete by number 66, dropping off the defensive lines. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Yeah, very good point, Jim. Proudfoot and Jan Stewart out there gave the Tigers a pair of good bookends, plus a little bit of Martinez to spell them.
Yeah.
And then when they both went down in back-to-back games, Tigers needed to come up with something. Well, they put Ryan McClure on one side and Silvas on the other, and the defense stays intact.
Yep, they never miss a beat. That's just a beauty of a good program.
All right, double wing set, Weimer lone setback. Babcock fires over the middle, caught by Brett Babcock in traffic, and that's good for about 10 yards. Very close to a first down.
Yep.
Boy, now they're going to wave it dead, and now the chain. Oh, my. Wow, was that a right-footed spot.
Going to let us have that.
They're going to give it to them.
Yeah, first down.
Well, the chain gang sold their end of it, and the Tigers move the sticks.
I wonder how many first downs over the course of a season they're good for by just pulling up the stakes and running down.
Oh, Jim, they're invaluable.
All right.
All right, Paul Smith spread wide to the far side. Double wing package. Weimer, the lone setback, Silvas in motion. Gives straight ahead to Weimer. Weimer picks his way forward and just about goes the distance. One man away. Gets across the 50 to the 49. Gain of 8.
Spike, he wasn't hardly picking his way there. He ran over number 66 there, drug him for a few yards. I kind of wonder. Now, this is sort of the NWAL saying hello to the Green Meadows Conference.
Absolutely. Tigers wanting to play that outside game that time, took it right up the middle against the big boys. Good for 8. So now 2nd and 2. The wing set over to the right, Babcock. Give to Silvas. Silvas with running room. Runs over one guy and head on head over the top. Down to the 43 and a Tiger first down.
Boy, for just a brief instant, that kind of opened up upfield there. If he'd have got by that last tackler, he'd have been off to the races, Spike.
Yep. 6-yard gain for Silvas. 3:40, clock running again after the setting of the chains. And now the Tigers starting to show their power and their strength up in the trenches.
Yeah, also dominance on the line of scrimmage, Spike. The men in black are just plain moving.
Pitch to Weimer with a host of blockers. Advances the ball about 8 more yards, and that's down to the 35-yard line of the Apaches.
Yep, Silva's out there. Who's that other guy out there? 82, Moeller out there making a block for him from his tight end position. That right side over there, just plain moving the Apaches out of the way.
And Jeremiah Hill getting a start tonight at an offensive tackle, also out in front of that. So the Tigers, that's one thing, Jim. Once they got the season going and got some people back from injury, they've been able to be very resilient and battle through more injuries. So here's the give to Babcock. Great job by Silvas holding him in. Babcock looking for running room, spins out of bounds. Down around the 27-yard line. Gain of about 7 yards more. And that'll move the chains again. Another Tiger first down.
Boy, Spike, you'd have thought maybe the Tiger players over here along the sideline would have kept him off the track there. Good thing he landed on his shoulder pad there.
Yep, well, the Tigers now relentless in moving the ball against this Fairview defense.
Oh, they close very well. The Tigers close as well as any team I have seen this year at the first half, at the close of the first half, Spike.
All right, Weimer, the lone setback off to the right. Babcock in motion, Babcock on a sweep. Led out there by Hill and Weimer. Babcock finds a seam, cuts it ahead, inside the 20-yard line, down to the 18, a gain of 9.
You know, Jeremiah Hill, number 66, pulled from his position there on the line, and man, he was out and going almost quick enough to draw a flag, but no, sir, our officials said that got started when it should have. That's a good play. But, I mean, he was getting out there, and that's the way you like your pulling guards to hustle.
Yeah, I called him a tackle a while ago. My apologies.
He doesn't care. He just wants to wear that orange and black and continue the Tiger dynasty.
All right, clock under 2 minutes. Double wing package. Smith spread wide the other way. Babcock in motion. Get the Weimer. Leaps over a tackler and battles all the way down to the 6-yard line. It's going to be another Liberty Center first down. Gain of about 15 yards on the play.
All right, got her down about on the 6-yard line, Spike, and the clock beginning to be a bit of a factor, but plenty of timeouts for the Tigers.
Well, Fairview's going to use a timeout. They're going to try to save a little bit of time one way or the other. So the Tigers come off the field. They lead at 26-14, and they've got the ball at the Fairview 6. All right, just pointed out by Jim, how many times have we seen it? At the end of a half, the Tigers relentless in their attack. Now with the ball, give to Silvas on a pitch, trying to spin inside, gets inside the 5, down to the 3, we'll call it. And that'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Yeah,
and the clock moving on.
Tigers have been exceptional this season, as well as most of the time under a Rex Lindgren coach team in being efficient with the clock, Spike, and that's what it's about. You know, the other team looks up there and thinks, it's about halftime, and if they relax just a little bit, they find that scoreboard adding up more points for the Tigers.
Okay, you're right. Bodenbender, tight end over on the right side. Silvas on the left, straight ahead to Weimer. Weimer galloping and bounding down close to the goal line. We'll call it the 1. And the clock continues to run down. 1:03 left in the half.
Spikey's got to be close. Yard line, 1 yard line.
Yeah, we're going to call it right just inside. No, right about the 1 yard line. 3rd and goal. Clock running at 46 seconds. Tigers should have this gauge just about right to run this thing right on down to the end. Big play here. Silvas set off to the right side. Weimer behind the quarterback. Babcock in motion. Give to Weimer. Big hole. Touchdown. Touchdown, Weimer. Touchdown, Tigers. Wait a minute.
Yeah, late flag on the left side there.
Uh-oh. Now with 29 seconds, the clock stopped, and we're going to have a conference. Oh, my. Oh, a stinking rotten yellow flag and a no good, lousy conference.
Holding.
Wow. Well, not sure where the penalty came from. Irregardless, the Tigers gave Weimer a huge hole.
They did
off
indeed.
that side behind Hill and Martinez. But now it's going to be walked off. It'll be third down and probably 11 goal to go from the 11.
Yeah.
Boy,
yeah.
Jim, that could come up big in the way this game plays out here.
I know it, Spike. The Tigers had a very good use of the clock here, just going to use it all up, leaving Fairview next to nothing. Had the ball right on the 1 yard line and then got Weimer in there, but officials saw something he didn't like, so they're going to bring it out to the 11 yard line.
All right. Well, it's still a 5-man officiating crew. They normally, I guess, do go with 6. So with 29 seconds, timeout on the field. Tigers with the ball. Third and goal from the 11. Okay, Tigers set up after the timeout. They're going to go the standard wing tee set to the right. And we've got movement, and it sure looks like that could be encroachment on Fairview.
Yeah, I almost think the Tigers are going to get 5 yards back there, Spike.
Well, now, Jim, that certainly changes the way the Tigers try to look at things right now.
That's
And that's
the
going
call
to
out
make
there.
it third and goal from the 6.
That might have been some good quarterback in there by Babcock.
All right, now, what do the Tiger brass come up with here? We've got Weimer behind the quarterback. Silva set off to the left. Babcock on the right. Give to Silvas on a sprint. Now tries to cut, spins, dives. He's close. He's in. He's in. He's in. It's another Tiger touchdown. Another Tiger touchdown. Liberty Center goes ahead. 32-14. Punching it in. Silvas headed out on a dead sprint to the right. Got it back up on a block, I believe, from Weimer. And made a great spin move at the 3 and into the end zone.
Spike, how about Kurt Silvas as he rolled around that right side with the ball? He stayed under control. He waited to see which way he should go rather than just being out of control and letting Fairview bump him.
Well, great job of ball carrying there. Here's the kick, low line drive, and splits the uprights. Kicker Cody Sanchez off the snap of Jeremiah Omiah Hill, and the hold by Brian Babcock drives it through. 33-14, Tigers up by 19 points.
Spike, that has to be disheartening for the Apaches to let the half open up that score. Yeah, Tigers, they just couldn't stop them. They just used the clock. They mixed their plays, took her right down there, stuffed her in. Penalty brought it back out. Penalty back the other way. And there we go. Tigers showing that that offense is very productive, just like we've seen them most of the season.
Well, Jim, very good point. You know, remember back in, I believe, 2000 or 2001, Liberty Center took on Fairview at, I believe, Defiance or Napoleon. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But Tigers led by 2 touchdowns. They led 13-0. Fairview scored a late touchdown and then got the ball back again, and it was a great tackle, open field, off a reverse by Tim Myers at the 1 to stop the 2-point conversion attempt. But the point is, just like that, Fairview scored 2 quick touchdowns in the waning moments of the fourth quarter. And this touchdown to cap off the drive was huge, simply because now it gives the Tigers that 19-point edge.
Exactly. No possession, no offensive possession is ever to be wasted.
All right, a great kick, and that's going to be downed at the 27-yard line. Boy, you just love those no returns.
Yes.
Tom, how many play drive was that?
Spike, that was 11-play, 67-yard drive. Brian Babcock was 1 of 2 for 10 yards. Brett Babcock rushed twice for 16 yards. Weimer 3 times for 18, and Silvas 3 rushes for 15.
Well,
4 first downs also.
Yeah, a very balanced drive and a great, as Jim was mentioning, great use of the clock. So with 22 seconds to go, Fairview with trip receivers to the far side. Olwen back in shotgun as he's been the whole game. Empty backfield, now goes deep over the middle. It's going to be caught out there. Tigers in a prevent defense, of course, and very willing to give that up. 15 seconds remain as we stop the clock to move the chains. 33-14 here on TV5. 15 seconds left in the half. The first quarter saw Fairview take a 7-0 lead. Tigers came back with 3 in a row, and then they traded scores for 6 first quarter touchdowns. Now back to throw, rolling to the right, around the 40. Pressure there by Silvas. Now has running room, breaks off of a block and heads out of bounds. Finally hauled down there by, for Liberty Center, number 71, Chris Butler, and that'll end the first half. Tigers do what they had to do at the end, contain, and they'll go to the locker room, leading Fairview 33-14. All right, a few of those stats here just before the kickoff. For Liberty Center's offense, 24 carries, 207 yards for about 8.5 yards a carry. Tigers set to kick off here. We'll catch up with those. Sanchez drives a high end over end kick. That's going to hit at about the 10 and be picked up down there at about the 5-yard line. Return straight ahead.
I believe Brett Babcock on a stop over there.
Yep, Brett Babcock given credit for the tackle. So the Apaches will start at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah.
Good kickoff there by Sanchez, catching Fairview looking for the short stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Drove it clear to the 5-yard line, Spike.
Now, one thing Liberty Center did exceptionally well in the first half. Steve Olin, the quarterback, rushed 13 times for only 28 yards. Great job there by Liberty Center. All right, back in shotgun, looks for that quick out over there, and hit almost immediately, dives forward, and trying to reach ahead to get more yardage. The referee kind of close, but goes with the safe call, and Fairview retains possession up at their 28, gain of 8 on the play. So Liberty Center outgained Fairview 207-28 on the ground. Fairview, 10 of 18 for 143 yards in the air. And Liberty Center, 3 out of 5 for 60, so a good job of utilizing the passing attack. Weimer shows blitz. Launch out there along the sideline, hit right away! There's a smackerino by Paul Smith! He leveled the load on him, a gain of 7 and a first down, but the receiver paid for it.
Yeah, Paul Smith had a few steps to get a good head of steam going, and he slobber knocked him, Spike.
Oh boy, slobber knocked him, taking it easy. That was a runaway freight train. Wild Buffalo on the hunt. All right, now Fairview though with a 1st and 10 up at their 35-yard line. As we look back to the end of that first half, the Tigers managing to beat the clock and a late penalty to punch in another score. They lead by 19, 33-14. Tigers drop off on defense. Olwen has time, looks upfield, throws the home run ball there. Bodenbender picks it off. Casey Bodenbender with great coverage deep downfield. Picks it off at the 25, and the Tigers will take over there. 1st and 10.
Yep, he just threw a big lazy fly out there, and Casey Bodenbender had his man perfectly covered. In fact, he was better positioned to catch that ball than the receiver.
Absolutely,
so,
Jim.
He caught it, good sure hands, and a turnover.
Yeah, I caught Casey out of the corner of my eye halfway downfield, and he was with him stride for stride. All right, now the Tigers come to the business end of the football now. Standard wing right attack. Give straight ahead to Weimer.
No, actually it was a fake to Weimer,
yep.
and then he pulled it out and gave it to Babcock.
Well, as usual, I miss another one.
Well, good ball handling there in the backfield there, Spike.
Yep.
It's hard to follow it.
All right, 2nd down and just under 10 yards to go. Brett Babcock in that first half had 2 catches for 29 yards, and Paul Smith 1 grab for a 31-yard touchdown. Tigers, same formation. Here's the give to Silvas, trying to get outside. Now makes a great spin and gets up to about the 29. And Fairview, I imagine expecting Liberty to try to establish the ground game.
Yeah.
They hem him in, gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 7 to go.
Yep, you mentioned Tigers some 8+ yards per carry in the first half of over 200 yards total. That was one of the things Fairview certainly talked about, getting that rushing attack slowed down.
All right, big down here early in the second half. Tigers 3rd and long. Here's Babcock rolling out, has time, throws upfield, picked off down there, and Weimer there to bring him down with help from number 6.
Yeah, 81 their best
Matt
receiver.
Wiley.
For Fairview on the pick there, number 81, who's their best receiver. Mike Mack makes the pick there. Almost looked like that pass could have been intended for Eric Weimer, but
and slightly overthrown.
Yeah, so he decided, well, I better not try for that. There's another receiver out here. Turned out to be Fairview.
Well, Fairview with the ball for the second time in this second half. Now Silvas creeps up, shows blitz, backs off. Weimer now faking. Now Weimer shows blitz and then slips in his effort to get back, and there will be the penalty on the long count.
Yeah, that'll get Fairview 5 yards on that. Eric rushed up there and kind of slipped, as you said, and got in the neutral zone, couldn't get back.
You know, I'm kind of surprised. Fairview, it seemed like you mentioned it in the first half, they're seeming to get an awful lot of time on the play calling. So 1st and 5, Olwyn at the 45, throws for the sideline, caught. Immediately down there around the 35-yard line, very close to first down yardage depending on the spot. Yeah, it'll be enough. Ball inside the 35, down to the 33. Liberty Center in the first half, 6 first downs, 4 by the rush, 2 by the pass. Fairview, incidentally, with 8 first downs, 2 by the rush, 6 by the pass. Tigers showing blitz, they back off. Weimer puts on pressure, launched to the sideline, and a great job by Paul Smith stepping up there and forcing the incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's a good matchup over there. Fairview's number 1 receiver and Paul Smith covering him, and it was either going to be an interception or going to be plenty of contact out there, so Paul elected to kind of go through him to try to get to the ball.
You know, Fairview throws a lot of sideline stuff, but they're throwing a lot of long, high, arching stuff, and that gives the Tiger defenders a little more time to react and adjust their defensive set.
Yeah, that's well spoken.
Here's
Spike.
Olwyn, looks under pressure, now rolls. Here comes Silvas, and knocks him back. Dropped, and maybe a couple of yard gain at best. It'll bring up 3rd down. Liberty Center, that's been one of the great things they've done tonight, is react to Olwyn scrambling, and a gain of a couple on the play, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Spike, you mentioned he only had 13 yards rushing in the first half. I dare say that he hasn't had many games this season where he's been contained like that.
No, he had 13 rushes for 28 yards, but that's only at 2 yards a carry. I'll take that every day against the Apaches. All right, now they're going to set a man in motion. Swiskowski goes with him, and now we've got a flag on the play.
Number 50 for the Apaches couldn't wait to get into his blocking scheme, Spike.
Well, I'm glad he was the one a little over-anxious. Tigers only 4 penalties in that first half. That's good for these rambunctious Tigers for 45 yards. Fairview, 2 penalties for 15. So altogether, Liberty Center ran 29 plays. Fairview ran 31 plays. On Liberty Center's 29, they come up with 267 yards of total offense, 9.2 a play. Fairview only 5.5 yards per play, and 100 yards less, 170 on total offense. Now the strike on that quick post route breaks a tackle, complete down there at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, 81, Mike Mack there for the Apaches on the play there. Eric Weimer trying awful hard to get some pressure on the quarterback. Well,
we've got some great defensive stats to show you here from the Tigers side. Olin now coming out, and I'm still surprised the amount of time that Fairview seems to have. Clock running, 8 minutes left in the third quarter. 33-14 Liberty Center. Olin bobbles it momentarily. Here comes Carpenter. He shakes him off, throws deep, and caught. Touchdown, they really stayed in bounds, or stayed on the end line in play. I believe you only need 1 foot to come down in play, and that touchdown,
boy, from
good to Mack.
For our number 81, Mack on the reception, but boy, from our angle, Spike, he used every bit of that end zone. Every bit of it, plus a foot or two, perhaps.
Well, now, as we look at the score, as it tightens up to 33-20, we see how that Tiger drive to end the first half looms even bigger now as Fairview back to within 2 scores. Now we're going to get another flag on the play before the snap. What you doing?
Spike, a little information on that scoring drive. That was 5 plays and covered 46 yards. Quarterback was 3 of 4.
All right, Fairview's point after touchdown good, and that tells me one thing. The 5-yard penalty did nothing to change their minds. A powerful kick, and the score stands now. Liberty Center 33 and Fairview Apaches 21. Well, how many you got left?
We got 2 games left.
Okay, back to action. Fairview, it'll be an adventure now. Now they're going to elect to drive it deep. Paul Smith picks it up on one hop at the 15, looks for a seam, cuts to the outside, trying to outrun a man. A stiff arm there. And the only thing that slowed Paul Smith down was the sideline. Paul returns up to the 37-yard line, and the Tigers will take over there.
Yeah, Spike, a good return. Sets the Tigers up pretty good. And like you say, if that sideline wouldn't have squeezed him out of bounds there, he might still be running.
Joe Shaddy comes out of the lineup. A number 75 who has seen action tonight for the Tigers. After the timeout, Tigers still the standard wing set left, pitch in the backfield to Weimer. Weimer manages to come up with a couple of yards, but some good penetration by number 58, Fairview linebacker.
Apache's stacking it on that line of scrimmage pretty hard. Their Spike, and I think they're at the point where they want to stop the run first and try to force Liberty into something that they're not accustomed to doing. And, of course, the Tigers want to work on the clock. They'd like to have that ground game pay some real dividends here again.
All right, now they bring out Paul Smith, spread wide to the far side, man in motion Silvas, and give to Silvas, hitting the backfield, stays on his feet, but stays on his feet, breaks another tackle down the sideline. A tremendous run for a first down, I believe. Kurt Silvas was hung up, hit knocked by one man for probably 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, almost fell down, then hit by another, stayed on his feet, and forces the ball up the sideline, and what a run by Silvas.
Oh, indeed, that move gives them a first down right when they needed one. And great balance again we've seen throughout his career where he can almost have his chin on the ground, but he is not down until he's down.
Wow, a scintillating run by Silvas, a big first down for the Tigers. They've got the ball in their own 49. Here's play action, and the home run ball for Smith. Up in the air and just knocked away at the last second. You know, I'm not surprised, Jim, the Tigers came out throwing because Fairview, like you had mentioned earlier, really hemming things in to stop the Tiger run on first down.
Oh, indeed, because the Tigers have been very successful in, controlling the ball possession, making that work real well. It's interesting that number 28 was guarding number 28.
Yep.
And boy, Paul Smith, he had a chance at it, but Fairview had that play pretty well cookered.
Yep, Paul still almost pulled a great catch out of the fire. Double wing set, Silvis in motion. Gives straight ahead to Weimer. Weimer breaks the tackle, battles, and pounds his way ahead for 9.5. And that's going to be very close. We're going to stop the clock while we get a measurement. No, they will wave off the measurement. And yeah, the Tigers are going to be at least a foot and a half short here. And now the tight end Wiley comes back into the game, along with Babcock getting the sideline call. Scott Stewart, the center, number 78. Espinoza guard on this side, along with Van Sickle, number 55. Third down and very short. Give to Weimer the money back. Weimer battling and twisting, stays on his feet. He's gone. He breaks another tackle, stays away all the way down to the 5-yard line. Holy mackerel, 36 yards for Eric Weimer.
Boy, how about that for a run? Big man keeping his balance, streaking down there, ran over a couple Fairview guys. It took number 81, their staunch defensive secondary safety, the guy making the catches on the offense for Fairview, to catch him down there on the 5-yard line.
5-yard line. Boy, it was a great job. He broke through the line of scrimmage, had some running room, broke a tackle, leaped over another one, made a good cut, and then broke 2 more tackles and finally hauled in after 36 yards. So the Tigers with 1st and goal. Quick drop, fire over the middle, a great catch by Babcock! A great catch by Brett Babcock, all over him! The defender hanging on him like Spanish moss down in the state of Florida. It don't matter. Brett Silvis with hands as soft as the down on a duck's back hauls it in. 39-21, Liberty up by 18.
Yeah, Brian Babcock looked like Brett Favre gunning that in there. I mean, his cousin was covered, yet stuck her right in there where it ought to be.
Yep, good point.
Tigers showing excellent balance in their offensive attack. They'll run it and make you bring it up on the line of scrimmage, and then they'll pass it.
And now Sanchez, no doubt about that, baby. They drive that all the way into Treva Stevens' backyard. Tigers lead it again by 19, 40-21. And you're right, Jim, the old gunslinger Brian Babcock laced a strike in there where Brett hung on beautifully.
Yeah, Spike, that was a 6-play drive, covered 63 yards. Weimer was 3 rushes for 47 yards. Silvis was a rush for 9 yards. And Brian Babcock was 1 of 1 for a touchdown to his cousin Brett.
Yeah, and well orchestrated. You know, Fairview on the Tigers' first down was there to stop the run. Tigers picked up a first down. Fairview was there again to slow down the run. But the Tigers made adjustments as usual.
Yeah.
And marched down for the score.
There was 2 carries on that play, one by Silvis and one by Weimer, wherein Fairview had them stopped. But the strength and conditioning and just drive kept them moving forward and got them to where they needed to be.
Any mortal running back would have been down off that first hit. Silva somehow kept his balance and then sustained another big hit over around the sideline, like you mentioned, and then broke that and barreled his way up the far sideline for the first down. Certainly a key play on that drive.
Brian Babcock taking him to the promised land again and again tonight, Spike.
All right, Sanchez puts a foot into it, low line drive kick. That's going to bounce at the 25, picked up at the 17. Return left, and Silvas in on the hit. First man there, I believe, number 25. I think Tate Slee will get credit for that tackle.
Okay. Yep, Slee and Kurt Silvas.
All right, 5:39. The third quarter, Jim, it's 40-21. Holy moly!
Yeah, Tiger Stadium is getting the cobwebs out of those scoreboard lights over there.
All right, Olin passes some signals to his wideouts on this side. He's got twin receivers far side, now man in motion far side. Tigers show a 2-man front. They drop 9 men in coverage. Now Silvas charging along with
Swiskowski and
hauled down there by Jason Moeller up at the 37.
Yep.
So Liberty Center content maybe to give Olin the short scrambling stuff. But that time,
that was hot lateral pursuit, Spike, that kept that play alive defensively. We know how fast that quarterback is. When there doesn't appear to be a pass available, man, can he run to open field. But Tigers strung that out, making the play with a minimal gain.
all right, now the Tigers show that same two-man rush. Huff maybe shows a little blitz, now drops off. Toss out there along the sideline, and that's caught right away. Steps out of bounds, good for about 5. And a Fairview first down up at their 44-yard line. Well, the Tigers giving Fairview that short 5-yard dink stuff over to the sideline, but able to hem them in from anything, for the most part, deeper. Their only other success, any continuing success, has been the 15, 18-yard strikes over the middle. Touchdown bombs, but as far as considering moving it steadily up the field, now upfield high and immediately hit by Paul Smith. Good for about 9 on the play. Well, Fairview hanging tough in there.
Yeah, they have those pass patterns figured pretty good. Some of them are what we used to call a long time ago, Spike, the old button hook play. You drive the defender deep and then turn around and the ball's supposed to be there. He's hit a number of those tonight.
All right. Tigers show blitz. They send a couple guys. It gets hung up in the middle. Olin with time. Now bird dogging him is Silvest. Here comes Swiskowski. Ball caught inside the 40. Tackle there by Brett Babcock. So we're seeing a chess match here. Tigers show a blitz, take it away, then they'll send somebody else. Yep. Olin reads that, rolls the other way from pressure. That time Silvest decided to come up from his linebacker, dropping off in coverage, linebacker spot, more or less. He came up. Olin made a move on him. And when that opened up, he tossed the strike along the sideline for the first down.
Yep, Spike, there's a number of people in our midst back here in the press box that think he was over the line of scrimmage when he made that pass. And I have to agree, I believe he was 1.5 yards over the line of scrimmage on that last play.
All right, Tigers show a blitz, nothing there. Caught, hit right away. Wow, now they're going to roll incomplete. I think that was the headhunter again, Jesse. Yeah, Jesse. I probably called him Jesse a few times tonight. Paul Smith, number 28. Boy, did he lay a lick on him.
Yeah, he got there and brought a load.
All right, now the Tigers have Fairview in a 2nd and 10, and of course that does change things a little bit here. Fairview needs to look to throw the ball upfield.
Yeah, one could say he was going after the ball. It's just that the Fairview receiver seemed to be in the way.
All right, Van Sickle, one of the down linemen, has time, pump fakes, throws deep. Oh no, Brett.
They're going to say the coverage was shoulder to shoulder and possibly a little bumping going along there, Spike. But anyway, Fairview's going to get a fresh set of downs.
Well, the Tiger coach is giving the what for to the official, and they're going to roll pass interference. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty marked off, and that'll take the ball down somewhere around the Tiger 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Fairview.
Yeah, the defender was running shoulder to shoulder with the receiver right along the sideline, and true, there was some contact, but who did what to who can say? But the official saw it as a penalty on the Tigers. Still, overall, the Tigers have had very excellent coverage on this vaunted passing attack, Spike.
Well, you know, and Babcock had inside position, too. I'm not so sure I agree with that call. Far beyond the ability of number 20 to haul it in. And Olin went down in a heap. He's hurting. Boy, he's been getting pounded on all night long.
Yeah, I think Chris Butler got a good piece of him on that rush, Spike.
Boy, if I was Olin, if I had a guy like Butler bearing down on me, I think I'd be looking for some Dallas Cowboys shovel passes or something.
You know, it's interesting that they don't seem to have another back they can hand the ball off to. Wouldn't you think a quarterback could stand a blow and maybe a quick pitch to?
Anything just to kind of change it up a little bit. But you sell your offense out to the strictly one-dimensional. I mean, you can't even run a good reverse or anything with this. All right, but Fairview still with the football. They've got 4 wide receivers to the left side. Now throws to the right, caught out there about the 15-yard line, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 5 to go.
Yeah, now he gave him a reception inbound, Spike, but boy, from my point of view, he was out of bounds when he caught that ball, but the official's there, and so that's the way she's called.
All right, Butler and Van Sickle, the 2-man front, but the Tigers have about 5 more players up near the line. They show a couple different blitz packages. Here comes Carpenter. Sangarino! Tyler Carpenter laid the wood to him, baby. Ullman goes down in a heap, and a loss of about 7 on the play.
Tyler Carpenter just a little bit quicker than the tired quarterback thought he was and couldn't elude him. Nice play, Tyler Carpenter.
The offense giveth and the offense taketh away. No, the defense taketh away. And now the Tigers force a 4th down for Fairview. The ball rests on Liberty Center's 23-yard line. They need to get to the 10. Shotgun formation, rolling right. Here comes pressure from McClure. Ball loose. He scoops it up. Ullman now has room down the sideline. Races hit. Now ball's loose again. And I think Liberty Center may have got the 2nd fumble. Yes, they do. Liberty Center takes over.
Spike, there was a lot of hitting going on there, I'm telling you.
Boy, Owen, you got to give him credit. Scoops up his first fumble and breaks a couple of tackles. Heading for 1st down yardage, was hit again by about 3 Liberty Center players. And I think Owen is down now, and he may be out.
Yeah, he picked up that fumble, his own fumble over there, and turned upfield with it, going to make something out of it. There's a couple Tigers got a real lick on him. I mean, they hit him and the ball popped up in the air, and that's when the Tigers scrambled and recovered it, and he's down right now.
Oh, yeah, he may not get up right away either, and of course the coach over there showing his dismay, but he was open game. He was had the 1st down made. And right there with Olwen laying on his back, there may have went the final chances for Fairview to pull off a come-from-behind win. Situation stands, 2:38 to go, 3rd period. Liberty Center 40, Fairview 21. We'll be back after this timeout for the injury.
Trying to get a little room
you ready?
away from the goal line.
Okay, we lost a play there trying to go back and check the constituents, the playmakers in that last fumble. We believe it was... let's see, number 15, Casey Bodenbender, and number 28, Paul Smith, making the hit to force the fumble. And as far as the fumble recovery, not sure yet. So on 1st down, Liberty Center with a quick shot up the middle for a couple of yards by Weimer. And now the Tigers show a new set. They've got Babcock and Smith spread wide out here. Babcock rolling. He's got running room, makes a nice cut, stays on his feet. But as he makes the cut, a hit there and on pretty close to a late hit on a piling maybe by number 78. Regardless, Tigers get out of danger as they pull out away from the goal line. Now we're going to have a holding call against Liberty.
Tiger quarterback coming off just a little gimpy right now, Spike. Well, was there a penalty there?
Okay, a minute 35, third period, half the distance backwards to the goal on that penalty. Here is the give. Silvas tries to get outside, makes a cut, kicks it to the outside. Oh my, a great open field tackle, and Silvas hauled down at the 20-yard line, but that may be enough for a first down.
Spikey brought that ball from the 2-yard line. Great
All right,
run
my
by-
bad on the 5 yard. It's on the 5 yards. He's tackled at the 15. Sorry, Jim, for
Well, I just
walking on you there.
He was pinned down there awful tight, and I made note of that. With that penalty, put him down back to the 2-yard line on that.
Well, the Tigers come right back, and they've got themselves now a 3rd and 2 yards to go. Ball. They need to get the ball just across the 17-yard line. Here's Weimer directly behind Babcock. Silvas off to the left. And I lost who had the football.
Fairview recovers
fumble,
a fumble
no
there.
wonder. And Fairview is going to come up with the football. They'll have the ball inside the 15-yard line.
I believe we're going to get a fresh quarterback, Spike.
Yeah, it appears to be number 8 has got the white jersey, so he'll probably be the replacement for Olwen. Well, the offensive style is still the same. Empty backfield, man in motion. Swiskowski goes with him. Quick launch. Underneath the defense, tries to run for yardage, and the Tigers smoke him over on the sideline. But a gain of at least 8 on the play. Clock stopped, 32 seconds left here in the third period. 40 for Liberty Center, 21 for Fairview, but Fairview
Toby.
after the turnover, knocking on the door.
Yeah, they've got field position. If Fairview expects to get back in this in a big way, Spike, they've got to come away with points, right, this series.
Well, and it's been a challenge for the Liberty Center coaching staff and the team itself how they were going to answer this Fairview offense. Has time, throws, and just over the head of the intended receiver across the goal line, so it'll bring up 3rd down. And about 3 to go, the ball resting inside the 10. I think it's at about the 7-yard line.
Boy, Eric Weimer, number 3, gave number 8, the fresh quarterback for Fairview, a great baptism under fire there, Spike. I mean, he just totally drilled him. Then helped him up.
Yep,
He helped him up.
Well, at least if you're going to get busted, you might as well get a smile in the process. A smile and a handshake. All right, back to throw on a shotgun. Hard fire over the middle, caught, and it's a Fairview touchdown. Jim, I'm not so sure they're missing a stroke. This kid's got an arm.
Yeah.
He may not be able to run the football, and that may cause Liberty Center to make some defensive adjustments here as we head into the 4th period.
It seems as though that is the attack that Fairview has, is a passing attack no matter who's there, whether it was Olin or this number 8 there.
Boy, he fired a major league strike.
Yes.
All right, 40-27, a 13-point game. Fairview to go for the 1-point PAT conversion. It's good, 40-28.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, now a flag on the play after the kick. Well, they're huddling up, not sure what we're looking for here.
Spike, we've been looking at a freshman quarterback there. This number 8 for Fairview is a freshman quarterback. His name is Ryan Radcliffe. They list him at 6'2" and 173.
Well, the flag will be walked off against Fairview, I assume, on the kickoff. In that first half, I'd like to go back over these stats who were compiled by the crew of Rob Shaddy, Scott Overmeyer, and overseen by Tom Overmeyer. These guys have kept stats all year long, so thanks to them. Leading tackler for Liberty was Weimer with 5, 2 of those for losses, 1 sack and 1 hurry. And then with 4, we had Van Sickle, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 interception, a sack, and a hurry. Kurt Silvas, 4 tackles, 2 for loss, and 2 sacks. Also a hurry there. So the Tigers applying plenty of pressure to Fairview. And now another flag over on the sideline. Coach Olin, wow. beside himself, and Fairview now may be kicking off from way back at about the 15 or 20 yard line.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, I assume, is the call there.
And that was on the bench over there, Spike.
Yeah. All right, some more of these stats. We've got Ryan McClure with 3 tackles. Jesse Smith, 2 tackles, a pass breakup, and a fumble recovery. Jeremiah Hill, 1 tackle, but that for a loss, and a sack, of course. Brian Babcock had 2 pass breakups. Brett Babcock, 1 pass breakup and 2 tackles. And number 28, Paul Smith, had 2 tackles. Oh, yeah, and a pass breakup, fumble recovery. We covered that. So now the stage is set. Fairview has climbed back to within 12, which is dangerous, as we know, with only 24 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So plenty of time for Fairview as they're still in the game. However, they, I assume, are going to be kicking off, it appears to be, from the 25-yard line.
Well,
no, wait a minute.
Spike, I don't quite understand this series of penalties. Did you get a handle on the penalty? There was a penalty at the score or at the conversion. The conversion for their last score.
Yeah, and it was
there?
possibly a celebration call. I don't know what else it really could have been. It was so late.
And then later.
And then the sideline penalty.
Yeah.
They're kicking off from the 12-yard line. End over end. That's going to be taken there by Smith at the 43. Heads to the right. Has a wall. Gets outside and just tripped up. Oh, no. Oh, Paul was gone. I think, what is it? No, I'm not sure. 77, not sure of the number. He went down like an old wasted sack of potatoes, and I think Paul might have hit his ankle as he flipped over.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody even touched Paul there. I think he was ready to make another move, and all of a sudden that grass jumped up and bit him.
I think it may have been that one guy that went down,
Okay.
and maybe he caught his ankle. I'm not sure.
But great field position for the Tigers
Oh,
here.
boy, they're on the Fairview, just inside the Fairview 45. Pitch to Weimer. Weimer following a host of Tigers, and they battle down to the 40. A gain of about almost 5 yards on the play. Well, I think we're going to see student body left and student body right now, Jim. Tigers are going to try to force the issue with their superiority and strength in the trenches, albeit the superior size of Fairview's defensive line.
Yep, they want to control the clock to use as much of it as they can while marching toward the goal line.
All right, that's the end of the third quarter. Liberty Center 40, Fairview 28. All right, after the quarter change, Tigers come out. Standard wing package. In motion Babcock. Give to Weimer. Tripped up. Weimer comes up with a couple. It'll bring up third down. We'll call it a long, depending on the spot. All right, a yard gain on the play, and it'll bring up third down and a short 5 yards to go. Tigers have the ball on the Fairview 39. Jim, I think you got the rundown on those penalties. Here, we'll get them after this play. All right, big play here for the Tigers. 11 and a half to go in the fourth period. They're up by 12. Babcock in motion this way. Here's Babcock, play action, throws deep to Babcock. And stripped away. Bodenbender went up, made a great catch, and in midair, Fairview comes up with a steal on the way down, and they're going to take over on the 10-yard line.
Exactly there it was. There was double coverage out there, and Bodenbender made a play on the ball, had it, felt he had it, was pulling it to his body. Another guy stripped it. Fairview, a great defensive play by the Apaches. Now they get it.
Well, and that's the one place that you're vulnerable as a receiver to get stripped or to get the ball stolen when you've left your feet. You've went up in the air and you've got it into your hands, and that's the one place where you're vulnerable. Well, the Apaches will take over at their 10. Wow, a bullet pass upfield well off the target. Coverage there by Babcock and Skowski. Incomplete, second down.
Yeah, going back to that play involving Bodenbender, He didn't have time to bring that ball into his body. I mean, he had it in his hands, but he could not realize it.
Right, yeah, he didn't have time to haul it in, and that's where, like we said, he's most vulnerable. All right, back to throw. Pressure by Silva's caught out there. Swiskowski has him honed in and makes the tackle. Assisted by Tate Slee, that at the 10-yard line. A loss, actually, of a yard on the play, but a flag down there along the sideline. Another stinking, rotten, no good yellow flag. Wow. Well, Swiskowski possibly had a hold of some headgear somewhere. I didn't see the face mask grab, but it could have been underneath any part of the helmet.
Well, when the action is fast and furious, as we're seeing it there, Spike, it's easy to get a hand where one shouldn't be.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's under the back of the helmet. Only a 5-yard walk-off, so not a major penalty. Tigers make some adjustments. 2 down linemen, they show a blitz package. Toss out there, and Joe driven out of bounds by Paul Smith. Up at the 20, close to a first down.
Yep.
And that a timing pattern, too. You know, that ball was delivered before the receiver had turned around. So this freshman quarterback looks very sharp. He gets rid of the ball, delivers it with a lot of authority. He's been off a few times.
He is very precise.
But he's got mustard.
Yes, sir. And number 81, he has figured in almost every play offensively and defensively for the Apaches tonight.
Tigers show blitz again, fires upfield. Wow, a circus catch up at the 40-yard line. A great diving attempt and catch there by number 22.
He caught that with just by pinning it one arm to his shoulder pad.
Yep, you've got to applaud a great athletic play, and that it was.
Well, that's a big spark right now for the Apaches. That gives them a first down. It gets the fans into it over there. They're improved their field position greatly.
All right, Tigers show that same 2-man front with Van Sickle and caught out there at the 38, trying to get some running room, slowed up there by Casey Bodenbender, and a lot of help from several Tigers, Babcock, Weimer, Smith, well, probably at least 2 more.
Yeah, great coverage there. Paul Smith had his man coverage, and he was fighting the block so that he could stop any upfield movement by the ball carrier there, Spike.
Wow. 10-13 left in the ball game. Fairview down by 12. Quick drop, now has to roll right, has time, throws deep, and another penalty flag. Well, that came from 2 different officials, so probably a good call. That'll give Fairview 15 yards from their 43. That'll put the ball down at the Tiger 42 and a Fairview first down.
Yeah, you wonder if they saw the same thing, Spike. If they both were calling the same play, then I can kind of go for that. Otherwise, this one official was at least 30 yards away from the play.
Oh, yeah. He might have been 40 yards away.
It's like a basketball official at one end of the end line calling a foul on the underneath the basket on the other end. You can't go for that.
All right, the walk-off coming here, and that'll put the ball into Tiger territory. And it's going to be spotted near the 41-yard line. So, a lot of football left here, Jim, and as we were concerned, here comes the Apaches.
Yeah, the passes don't take very much time off the clock.
All right, 2-man front, 4 men there. They throw downfield, and that's going to be well incomplete. A misread there somewhere, and the Tiger defense had that blanketed.
Number 71, Chris Butler, putting on a lot of pressure. He was handled by the Apache, but I'm telling you, he was a load. He was bearing in on the quarterback there.
Boy, you don't want to see Liberty Center over gamble here, but Tigers put 2 men at the line of scrimmage, normally Butler and Van Sickle, and then they'll show 4 more up close. An all-out blitz, if you caught everybody with great downfield coverage, you might come up with a big sack here, but it leaves you wide open.
But Spike, they put out 5 receivers.
All right, now Tigers show a 3-man front. the quick fire, and that's going to go incomplete over the head of the receiver down here at the 35. So Fairview looking at 3rd down and 10. Clock stopped, 9:54, and that's the dangerousness of this offense is the fact the clock stops. It gives them plenty of possessions to stay in the game.
Well, what's amazing, too, is particularly on a couple plays ago, Fairview had 5 receivers out, Spike. They had 3 to one side and 2 to the other.
Oh, yeah, the whole game, empty backfield. All right, out of shotgun, 5-yard retreat, rolling right, has time. Fires upfield, and that's going to go incomplete. Brett Babcock had it timed beautifully. If that ball would have been within range, it would have been incomplete. Babcock with perfect timing. So now Fairview faces a 4th and 10. Ball at the Tiger 41. 9:47 to go, and I would assume Fairview may look to go for it. Clock running. No, clock stopped, excuse me. On the incomplete pass. My bad, and now I think Fairview is going to use a timeout. 40-28 Liberty Center, and what we knew was a Donnybrook when Fairview got the first onside kick, the first play of the game, immediately took it down and scored, and it's been one Wallapalooza since. 9:47 to go, 40-28 Liberty, a Fairview timeout with a 4th and 10 coming up.
4th and 10.
After the timeout, Fairview shows 6 players wind up wide to this side. On a shotgun, here comes a pass rush. They're going to throw it deep, nobody out there, and a great job by Brian Babcock flying across the field, knocking it away. And that ends a Fairview chance to get back into this game.
Boy, Spike, it take a long time to kind of sort out who was eligible and who was not. They called a timeout. I'm sure they reported to the official because the center was clear down there in the goal line. The guy who centered that ball.
Well, yeah, they used him as must have been an eligible receiver.
How's that work? If you go to the ref and say, hey, this guard here who I owe him pretty big, I want to give him a chance to catch the ball. Can you declare anybody eligible if you report?
Well, I don't know whether they had enough men at the line of scrimmage then because they had a whole rooster hen house full of them over here. Here is the little delay to Weimer off the left side. Weimer breaking tackles, driving and pounding, bull driving and bulldogging his way ahead for 11 yards and a Tiger 1st down. Yeah, I think they tried to pull Liberty Center, everybody over here to follow this cluster of players and then isolate a guy on a long post fly pattern.
Yeah, they were pulling out that Sandlot last play in the playbook effort there.
Yeah, and like was pointed out, made the center eligible. I'm not sure just how they managed that yet, but we'll see it on the replay. A deep pitch to Brett Babcock, running room, breaks one tackle, flag on the play. Babcock stays alive down the sideline, and now they're going to blow it dead, saying he stepped out of bounds inside the 35.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid it'll all be coming back for a bad block somewhere. Jim, back on that Fairview, or that touchdown down in this end.
Series of penalties there.
Yeah, against Fairview after they scored. What did we finally come up with on that?
Well, number 70 for Fairview was disqualified. Some kind of extracurricular activities, they actually ejected him from the game. Then as before the kickoff, their coach protested to the point where he got flagged, and they handed off half a kick and about 30 yards back from the normal line of scrimmage for a kick.
Yeah, that's just about what it was. 28 or 30 yards worth of penalties. Tigers didn't convert on that series.
Unsportsmanlike conduct to the max, I believe, Spike.
All right, Silvas takes the deep pitch, tries to get outside, cuts up behind the block, and still staying on his feet. Nothing much there as Fairview finally stays with it. Hones Silvas in, and a loss of a yard or two on the play. But the clock beginning to become an ally of Liberty Center. They need to run as much time off as they possibly can. 8:40 and moving. Liberty up by 12. But you can't run enough time off with this wild, quick breaking Fairview attack.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to complete a pass, and that's Fairview's game.
Well, there's a bunch of Warriors right there. Quick shot out there to Smith. Can't break a tackle, but they keep the clock moving, so it'll bring up third down, and the Tigers pick up about 4 of what they needed. That'll leave it third and about 6, maybe 7 to go. No, excuse me, I'm looking at the chains entirely wrong. Tigers need about 16 now for the first down conversion.
Yeah, they slipped a penalty in on us there, Spike, a while back.
It seems like we do that quite often here in Liberty Center. Tigers play with a lot of
gusto.
Excitement, yes. All right, double wideouts to this side. The lone wideout far side. Babcock drops back to throw. Uh-oh, he got a wobbler off. It's going to be a battle for it. And picked off there by Fairview. Leaps over one tackler and finally hauled down inside Tiger territory by Weimer. Now, there was a collision there that went uncalled, but Liberty Center with inside position on defense never got any of that.
Quarterback Babcock had that one tipped as he pulled the trigger on it, Spike. He wound up to throw one there, and somebody got their paw on his arm or on the ball, and that resulted in not exactly your nice, tight, directional spiral.
Well, and now the quick turnaround. Tigers with a couple of fourth quarter turnovers, full blitz, and over the head of the intended receiver down here at the 35. On the coverage was Smith closing fast. That time the Tigers sent 6 players. 7:23 to go, clock stopped.
Spike, I was going to say that freshman quarterback puts a lot of steam on that ball. Those are hardly catchable.
All right, Butler and Van Sickle up front. Tigers now squeeze 6 men at the line of scrimmage. They fire and hit drop. Smith right on the coverage, or Swiskowski, excuse me, right on the coverage, forces a drop pass, and that'll bring up third down and 10. Well, now Fairview has to be a little more cognizant of the Tigers' bull rush here.
Well,
and perhaps they'll have to keep an extra receiver in here, too, just to hold the Tigers out.
Yeah, either that or shorten those patterns up just a little bit, Spike.
All right, Tigers show that 4-man front. Silvis, now Carpenter maybe shows a little blitz along with Weimer. Quick toss to the side, trying to find running room. Hit right there, and he's going to be far short of a first down. Fourth down and about 5 coming up. Press box gives Paul Smith credit for the hit. There were about 3 Tigers over there. So now a lot of time left on the clock, 6:53 and running, but Fairview has the ball on the Tiger 36. Fourth down and 6 to go. They need to get the ball to about the Tiger 31. Tigers show a couple of defensive ends wanting to slice in there. Tigers put on the rush, long, high, wobbling pass is out of bounds, incomplete. And the Tigers will take over. Great pass rush, and the high arching ball. Jim, I think a little bit too much pressure there, and he had to unload it a little extra high, and the Tigers will take over.
Yeah, I think he is hurting just a little bit there. Chris Butler and Wade Van Sickle kind of combined on a rush there to put the shoulder to him and kind of convince him that he ought to be on the grass. $56-0.
All right, flag on the play before the snap. So I would assume it's against the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone, I suppose. 5-yard walk-off. So now Liberty Center will have a 1st and 5 up across the 41-yard line. 6:28. Tigers with the standard wing tee package to the left. Babcock under center. Here is the give to Silvas, trying to get outside, and another flag on the play, and this is getting to be an automatic. Two different officials on that call.
Yeah, Spike, they didn't like the looks of Jordan Espinosa's block over there on the Fairview Apache defensive end.
Yep, holding Liberty Center. Boy, it's been a tremendously long game tonight with Fairview and their passing game. A lot of incomplete passes.
Yeah. Yeah, time of possession on a pure passing attack is almost nil.
Tigers put in wideout Paul Smith. Matt Wiley, number 6, the tight end, comes off the field. So Liberty with a different look, a double wing package, Weimer lone setback. Babcock in motion, a little bit of a mix-up in the backfield. Weimer takes the handoff, gets back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd down and 17 to go.
That wasn't too clean, Spike. There was a pretty good collision there at the point of handoff. These penalties are beginning to distract the Tiger offense there. You know, they got to stay focused and keep moving forward. But
yeah, you're right, Jim. A lot of them here in this second half. But the clock continues to move, and the Tigers need simply now to keep using as much as they can. They'll probably look to run the ball twice here to keep that clock running. I lost the football. I believe Weimer wound up with it inside, and not much there, maybe a yard. But right now, keeping possession of the ball, running the clock is a paramount.
Yeah, absolutely. Fairview can't score if they can't get a hold of the ball. The Tigers are faced with about a 3rd and 16 or so. Might be time to pull one out of your hat, Spike.
Well, that would certainly not be very sound football, according to wanting to run the clock. But on the other hand, it may be just exactly what Coach Lindgren would do, figuring Fairview not to expect it. Tigers with a spread formation. Babcock dropping back under pressure, gets away from a sack. It breaks another tackle and finally thrown down out of bounds. And that stops the clock at 4:29 to go here in the 4th period, and the Tigers will be in a probable punting situation.
Yeah, I bet he wouldn't have intended on stepping out over there, Spike, because they've been doing real good this possession. Even if they're not advancing the ball, they've been using a lot of clock.
Well, Babcock picks up a couple on the play. So 4th down. Tigers with the ball at their own 32. Lone receiver back for Fairview at the 35-yard line. Weimer with the end-over-end punt. That's going to hit it, take a great Tiger roll right into the hands, and tries to get outside, running room out there. Still on his feet, finally Brian Babcock, along with, I think, Silvas in on the hit, but Fairview in business at midfield.
Well, Silvas and Carpenter on the stop evidently over there, Spike.
All right, now if you're Liberty Center, you know, you hear so much about the prevent defense, but now you've got to give the short stuff to Fairview. You've got to force them to use a lot of down and outs, a lot of time-consuming stuff, with the Tigers holding a 12-point edge.
Well,
but for Fairview's standpoint, still a lot of time. Back pump fake, they're going to go deep with it on a little hitch and go, and incomplete out of bounds.
Oh, 81 would like to have another chance at that. He's turned around and the ball bounces right off his chest, right where he'd ought to be catching it. But I'll tell you, that is one fine ball player for Fairview. He has been on both sides of the ball, a regular he-man. That's Mack.
Yep, Mike Mack over 1,000 yards receiving this year, 12 touchdowns. You know, and the fact that he had to spin around like that got his back to the ball momentarily, and that may have been enough.
Yeah, he had some vertigo or something like that as he was trying to pick that ball coming.
All right, the freshman back to throw, loads up, and incomplete, hit immediately by Paul Smith, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Well, a good job there. Smith allowing just enough room. That would have only been good for about a 5-yard gain, so nothing hurt, and especially when the pass sails high. 4:05 left here in the first round of the playoffs. Liberty Center, with a great second half to their season, earned their way into a home field. Now they throw a quick slant, caught, and it's going to be very close. Casey Bodenbender laid a lick on him.
No, he caught it and he dropped it. And
they ruled incomplete now.
Well, they might have ruled a fumble. You know, like he caught it, dropped it, and it bounced back up at him, but he did not have possession long enough to make that a caught pass.
Casey Bodenbender delivered the lethal blow, knocking the ball loose, and the officials, normally, Jim, that's what they're going to do. They're going to rule the safest call on a questionable one. So, incomplete. Fairview, 3:47. Tigers need to hold here. Fire upfield, incomplete. Well, that time Smith in 22. I think 22 was already trying to set for a block, and the ball was over the head of the intended receiver. And now Liberty Center, 3.5 to go with the football one more time. Tigers come to the line of scrimmage. Wing back package right. Here is the sweep with Silvas. Silvas trying to get outside, puts a straight arm in there, gets up across the 45, up to about the 49-yard line, gain of 5, and now the Tigers need to work the clock. Time against Fairview here. As you know, Jim, I think Liberty Center's done a credible job tonight in annihilating the quarterback, as we've seen, not in a dirty way, but simply kept pounding on him. And they've also been able to somewhat immobilize this huge passing attack by Fairview.
That's exactly correct, Spike. 28 yards in the first half on the ground is nothing.
Boy, look at Eric Weimer pound the ball up the field like riding a bucking bronco, making 2 big leaps over would-be tacklers, and Weimer moves the chains.
Yeah, that
Good
was
for about 9 maybe on the play.
That was key. There's more time now to be used as they go through these downs, relentlessly marching toward the Apache goal line. But you're right, they were fairly balanced, albeit a one-man show, the Fairview Apaches, and the Tigers essentially eliminated the rushing altogether.
Yep. All right, Tigers stick to the basic wing T offense. Babcock in motion, give to Weimer. Weimer battles ahead. Look at that guy take hits and still manages to come up with about 4 solid yards. Well, I'll say one thing. Both teams know they've been in a game tonight.
Oh, they left it all. They left it all here in Tiger Stadium. Only thing, Tigers are going to get time to rejuvenate and do her again next week, Spike.
Clock now down to 2:32 and running. Tigers now just need to hang on to the pigskin. Babcock in motion. Give to Silva. Silva's looked like he got manhandled. Took a shot in the face. Gets the ball down to about the 36. And that'll bring up 3rd down, and we're going to get a Fairview timeout to stop the clock. 2:18 to go in the ball game. Liberty Center 40, Fairview 28. After the Fairview timeout, Tigers come to the line of scrimmage. 2:18 left. They lead by 12, and they have the football. Silvas to the left. Give to Weimer. Weimer bouncing it outside. And another flag on the play, and it'll stop the clock again inside the 35.
Wow.
Why am I not surprised? Tigers with their 29th penalty tonight. I say that tongue-in-cheek, but boy, they've had a slew of them here in the second half.
It's been a lot of them.
But at this point in the ball game, the Tigers only worried about one thing, and that's running down more clock.
Wearing that clock out.
Yep. Tigers now with number 79, Pete Martinez, back in the lineup. Pete working his way back in after that injury a few weeks ago. So the Tigers with a 3rd down and 14. Clock under the 2-minute mark now. Fairview set to stop what they figure will be a run. Babcock on a keeper. He's got running room down the sideline at the 25, the 20, the 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a Tiger touchdown. Brian Babcock with not a little bit, but a whole bunch of chicanery there. A 45 yards, a little quarterback fake, and then the bootleg.
Yeah.
And had everybody fooled. He's gone. It's another Tiger touchdown, 46-28.
And the best part of it, there's no yellow flag out there. But Babcock, that's the prettiest bootleg a high school quarterback has ever delivered here at Tiger Stadium.
Why,
I mean, he just sort of trotted out there to the side, had the ball on his hip. All of a sudden, okay, I'm off to the races.
Wow.
What a play.
46-28, Tigers now to go for the PAT kick. Snap good, hold good, kick by Sanchez, up and good! Oh, kicker, Cody Sanchez. Tigers back up by that 19-point margin, 47-28. And now, Jim, now we can finally breathe that extra sigh of relief.
Yeah. You know, that is going to be a Hall of Fame TV5 offensive play there. I mean, the whole stadium thought that ball was just going up the gut again. One of the other backs was going to carry it, use a little more clock, and Babcock just had that thing hid on his hip perfectly.
Yeah, a nice slow loafing run, was kind of hunched over at the shoulders, was a small sightline target.
How many yards was that play?
That was, I believe, 45 yards, I believe. Oh boy, minute 43 to go, and now the Tigers will look to the second week. Not sure of the location, could be Lima, could be Defiance, but it appears the Tigers will be playing Bluffton. Bluffton ranked number 2. Liberty Center was ranked number 3 in the region in computer points. Sanchez, low liner, that's going to bounce at about the 22. Bobbled, picked up back at the 18. And Hall brought down right away. Good open field tackle there. Yep, Silvas on the hit.
Also, yep, Silvas it was, all Silvas. Good coverage. He can do it all. Remember, at the first quarter, he had 100 yards on 6 carries, Spike.
Well, the second half, 6 touchdowns in that first quarter alone. And then the game kind of slowed down, a few turnovers, a lot of field position change. Low snap, good pickup there by the freshman, and that ball caught along the sidelines. And they're going to rule complete, good for about 8 up to the 30-yard line. Timeout, Tigers. A minute and a half left. Complete coverage there.
Yeah.
Ryan McClure all over the intended receiver. Clock stopped, buck 29 left. Matt Tamarine, number 52, takes the field for Liberty Center.
73s out there are Bob Black.
Chris Butler, boy, there's a yeoman's work tonight by Butler.
Yeah.
He comes off.
Yeah, he jumped around and put a lot of heat on that quarterback.
Boy, Paul Smith has made a living tonight mopping up on these wideouts, on those down and outs. Fairview moves the sticks, but at this point, rather harmlessly. So
Yep.
with a minute 20.
Tigers are going to get a reputation for having big hitters on the cornerback position there, Spike.
All right, quick shot, and Tate Slee hog ties him and rats him down. Gain of
Yep.
about 6. Clock winds down here on this ball game. Liberty Center's relentless defense keeping the pressure. Finally, Olin takes the big hit, and that essentially knocked Fairview out Although the freshmen moved the ball, they had the ball in Tiger territory a few times here
Spike,
in this
he's going to
fourth
be
period.
a great passer. Got good arm strength.
And Babcock wisely played pass defense first, and then when he saw he was the only man with a chance, then went after the ball. But a good job there by Brian Babcock using his head on defense. Greitman, number 34, checks in for the Tigers.
Is that right?
Joe Spicer, number 81, defensive end. That pass over the head of the receiver, almost picked off by Paul Smith. Well, the Tigers under Rex Lindgren, 21-6 in the playoffs. And, well, 42 seconds away, that record will advance to 22-6. Shot out there, and that's going to be incomplete. Paul Smith again! Holy mackerel! They're going to make that guy illegal on a football field.
Paul.
Holy moly!
Paul brings a full load when he comes calling.
Boy, those receivers are going to get awful tired of that 5, 6, 7 and out route because Paul Smith is making them pay. Well, Liberty will take over with 38 seconds left. They've got the ball on the Fairview 41. Now Van Sickle makes his way off, and there's got to be another tired young man battling in the trenches all night against this passing attack. Tigers will just play it safe here, take the knee. Silva's back as a safety valve. Well, Jim, the Tigers are moving on.
Yes, sir, and it was a good, hard-fought game. Tigers still on that roll, Spike. Notch at number 7 in a row, and it was a convincing offensive and defensive display by the Tigers. But they got to get away from those penalties, and I don't know quite how they do it, but somehow or other they got to figure out a way to not have that yellow flag waving at them.
Well, I would guess that would be discussed. Well, the clock running out now. The Tigers won't even have to go into formation. 3, 2, 1, and that's your ball game here at Tiger Stadium. Liberty Center hosts the first round. And earlier in the season, things not so sure. A lot of people hurt, but the Tigers came back with some big wins. 6 in a row down the stretch, and now number 7 over the Fairview Apaches. Jimmy, Tigers move on. Next week we heard the score. It was Bluffton 56-0 over Sycamore Mohawk. There's a team who went south in the second half of the year. Maybe don't know the situation there, but Bluffton on the rise. And now they'll come in with a full head of steam when they take on Liberty Center. And I'm sure that will be one of the more traditional blockbuster pound and drive and in-your-face type games, much like I would imagine the Delta game.
Well, at the very least, both offenses are in high gear at this point in this campaign, Spike. So probably there will be a lot of fireworks. No question.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here right now. I want to thank Tom Fry for his statistical help tonight. And, of course, my longtime sidekick, Jimmy Leatherman, and my man on the video cam, Landis Utopia Burmeister. So this is old Spiker bringing you the game from on TV5 here from Tiger Stadium. Final score, Liberty 47, Fairview 28, in everything we thought it would be. A really big roundabout shootout. So next week, Tigers waiting for the site to be named. They'll be taking on Bluffton. So with that, good night all, good football, good Tiger sports, and that's it. There.